First, developing right now, a grim police search underway in the Bronx River as authorities look for a missing 2-year-old boy. Police believe the boy's own father threw him in the water.
That search happening right now in Garrison Park in Longwood. 2-year-old Montrell Williams vanished back on May 10th after a custodial visit with his dad, who never returned the little boy to his mother. And when pressed about his son's whereabouts, police say the father's answer sent up major red flags.
NYPD divers have been focusing their search under that section of the Bruckner Expressway. Investigators have surveillance video of the father with his child here along the river. This as the baby's family has been walking up and down this park since yesterday, doing their own search, clinging to hope. As a chilly June rain beat down on the Bronx River, NYPD dive teams searched for a miracle. Investigators believe 2-year-old Montrell Williams, last seen a month ago, was thrown into the river by the Bruckner Expressway by his father. Montrell's grandmother, the baby's father's mother, has been desperately searching for Montrell for a month.
I just hope my son open his mouth and speak. I love him and bring my grandbaby back.
Montrell's grandmother and other family members, drenched in agony, have been walking up and down Garrison Park since yesterday as divers slowly move up and down the river. Grandma says she had an argument with her son on May 10th. That was also the last time she saw Montrell.
Me and him had a conflict. I'm in my room. My cousin told me that my son took the baby. I went downstairs to chase him. He was gone. From that day, I was trying to search for my grandson.
That was in Hunts Point during Montrell's father's custodial visit. Montrell's mother spotted the 20-year-old father yesterday, and when she asked him about their child's whereabouts, his response raised alarm bells. She contacted police, but Montrell's grandmother says she went to the police the day after that argument in May, a month ago.
I went to the precinct. They didn't help me.
We're still unraveling exactly what happened, where proper procedures are followed.
Mary Adams today asked why it took so long for police to file a missing persons report.
We're still investigating all actions, the actions of the dad, the actions of officers who responded. And once we have a full understanding based on the detective division, we'll be able to answer what happened. But right now, our goal is to try to find the child.
Now, Montrell's father, meanwhile, was put in jail by a judge after he failed to disclose his child's whereabouts. Police do not believe the child's mother, who is 17 years old, knows where their son is.
A vigil tonight for a little boy believed to have been dumped in the Bronx River by his father. A body found today in the East River near the Whitestone Bridge may be 2-year-old Montrell Williams, and his father could be facing a murder charge. Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Rincon with family members who attended tonight's vigil.
Please make healing in this family.
The tight-knit family of a young father accused of doing the unthinkable is struggling tonight to understand why.
I don't have the answer to why he do this and why he would even think of doing this.
They're remembering 2-year-old Montrell Williams as a sweet and happy toddler.
Montrell was a great baby. He was great. It's just hard. It's real hard.
He kept calling him Daddy. He trusted him. He trusted him. He took his life.
It was here at this spot in Garrison Park in Hunts Point, marked with Montrell's favorite toys, that police believe it happened on or around May 10th. The 20-year-old father has been in police custody since Monday, when he allegedly told the child's 17-year-old mother he had thrown their son into the Bronx River. The NYPD launched a search in the water and through surveillance footage.
Our detectives did a good job in getting to this quickly, tracking that video, and seeing the crime committed on the video was heartbreaking.
Today, about 3 miles away near the Whitestone Bridge, they found a small body, transporting the remains to the medical examiner to find answers. The mystery is so painful and baffling to the family of the young father. They say he recently seemed like he'd begun struggling with mental health issues, arguing with family members before leaving their home with little Montrell last month.
Nobody expected this at all, because he loved his son. But I don't know what drove him to this.
While his family believes and is coming to grips with the idea that he is somehow responsible for this, criminal charges are still pending for the young father. The mother of little Montrell did not attend this vigil tonight, but the father's family said a prayer for her.
The man accused in the death of his 2-year-old son faced a judge tonight. 20-year-old Arius Williams is being held without bail after a judge deemed him a flight risk. Police say 2-year-old Montrell Williams was last seen on May 10th with his father at an apartment in Hunts Point. Court documents reveal that just before midnight, later that night, Williams was seen on surveillance video throwing his son off a bridge into the Bronx River. The toddler in Williams' custody under a visitation order. Police say the little boy's body was found in the East River yesterday.
Man, what do you do when one of your family members are going through mental health issues? This man clearly has something going on. He even looks like something's wrong with him. Something has to be wrong for you to take the child that you had with another person and you take him and throw him into a river. Something seriously wrong. May the mother of this toddler be kept by God, and please keep her in all of our prayers, man, because she's definitely going to need it. And next, we go down to Maryland, where we have a similar case.
Yesterday evening, approximately 7:15 p.m., patrol officers responded to the 500 block of Gender Road for reported kidnapping. Nola's mother advised that she pulled over after Nola became upset and was attempting to comfort her when an unknown white male armed with a handgun approached her and then took Nola. The suspect then fled in a dark-colored SUV driven by a white female. Ultimately, an Amber Alert was issued for 3-year-old Nola, and the Newcastle County Division of Police Criminal Investigations Unit, along with the FBI, began an intensive investigation that continued throughout the night. As a result of that investigation, detectives determined that the initial account of the investigation, or of the incident given by the mother, was false. The Amber Alert is now canceled, and there is no danger to the public. Sadly, this incident is now being treated as a homicide investigation by the Maryland State Police. Our detectives are continuing to work closely with the FBI and Maryland State Police. Additional information will be released as it becomes available. We'd like to thank everyone who has called in and provided possible tips and information. All media inquiries related to this investigation should be directed to the Maryland State Police Office of Media Communications.
Deeply disturbing new details in the death of a little girl in Maryland. Authorities first alerted Tuesday night when the mother of 3-year-old Nola Dinkins reported the child abducted at gunpoint in Delaware. Investigators quickly determined that story was made up, and what they've uncovered since is nothing short of horrific.
And in for Sarah Bloomquist, the big story on Action News is this new information today in the death of Nola Dinkins. Court documents revealing the girl's mother, Darian Randall, confessed to beating the 3-year-old to death and then worked it out with her boyfriend on how to get rid of her child's body.
New details in the murder of 3-year-old Nola Dinkins. Nola's mother, 31-year-old Darian Randall, is facing murder charges. Randall's boyfriend, 44-year-old Cedric Antoine Britton, is accused of helping Randall dispose of the little girl's body. According to an arrest affidavit, quote, Randall confessed to physically striking the victim with a belt approximately 15 to 20 times. The mother told police Nola stopped moving, and she eventually put the body in a suitcase, where it remained overnight at the home Randall and Britton shared with Nola in Northeast Maryland. The next day, Randall asked her boyfriend to move her. The couple gave authorities differing accounts of who disposed of the body and where. Randall's bogus story that Nola was abducted at gunpoint prompted Newcastle County Police to issue an Amber Alert in Delaware Tuesday evening. By Wednesday afternoon, the case became a homicide investigation, with investigators searching parts of Cecil County, Maryland. Ultimately, Britton directed authorities to a vacant lot where they discovered her remains.
And that was Annie McCormick reporting. Cedric Britton had a bail hearing in Maryland this morning for charges including accessory after the fact of murder. He made bail and is currently out on home detention. The girl's mother remains in a Delaware prison awaiting extradition.
We are learning more about the tragic murder of 3-year-old Nola Dinkins tonight. Police say she was beaten to death by her mother, who filed a false Amber Alert. And now the child's grief-stricken grandmother is talking only
to Prime Crime Network.
She stole our hearts, and she was my Nola bear.
Has more now from that heartbreaking interview, and she's live in our satellite center tonight. Jessica.
Well, Rick, there was a tough custody battle between Nola's parents. Her paternal grandmother telling me tonight that she never expected things to get this tragic.
It's Nola. From her home in Indiana, Velma Dinkins shares stories of her granddaughter she lovingly called her Nola bear.
She captured everybody's heart. From the moment you saw her, you fell in love with her.
Maryland State Police say 3-year-old Nola Dinkins was discovered in a vacant parking lot in Cecil County. Nola's mother, 31-year-old Darian Randall, is charged with her murder.
And we have so many questions, but all of that is going to come in due time.
According to an arrest affidavit, Randall confessed to physically striking the victim with a belt approximately 15 to 20 times. Randall told police that when Nola stopped moving, she put her daughter's body in a suitcase. It remained there overnight at the home that Randall shared with her boyfriend, 44-year-old Cedric Antoine Britton, in Northeast Maryland. On Wednesday, police discovered the suitcase with Nola's body in a vacant parking lot. Britton is accused of helping Randall dispose of the little girl's body.
And we are just heartbroken that this has happened to us. My precious baby and my son is well loved, and he is going to get what he needs, and we are going to get the justice that we need, and we're going to get the closure, because he will never be alone.
In addition to facing murder charges in Maryland, Randall is charged with falsely reporting that her daughter had been kidnapped in Delaware. An Amber Alert was issued, then canceled hours later.
Go, Grandma, baby. She touched so many people, and they remember her because she is unforgettable.
She certainly was. The little girl's mother is behind bars, awaiting extradition to Maryland.
Okay. Elena Russo, ELENA RUSSO, spokesperson for the Maryland State Police. At this time, the Maryland State Police have arrested 2 individuals connected to the disappearance of the 3-year-old who was the subject of an Amber Alert in Delaware last night. They are identified as Darian Randall, 31, and Cedric Antoine Britton, 44, both of Northeast Maryland. Randall is charged with first and second degree murder, first degree of child abuse resulting in death of a minor under 13, and other related criminal charges. Randall's currently in police custody at the Newcastle County Division of Police awaiting extradition to Maryland. Britton is charged with accessory to first and second degree murder after the fact, failure to report child death, and other related criminal charges. Britton is in police custody and is awaiting transport to the Cecil County District Court for his initial appearance. Yesterday evening, after the Amber Alert was issued for a 3-year-old Nola Dinkins through Newcastle County Division of Police, after the mother reported her kidnapped in Newark, Delaware, an intensive investigation was immediately initiated. Maryland State Police from the Northeast Barrack, as well as our Criminal Enforcement Division Northern Region, assisted in this investigation with the information that the 3-year-old lived in Cecil County with her mother. Information gleaned throughout the investigation revealed that the initial report provided by Randall was false and that Amber Alert was subsequently canceled. Information that was gleaned through the investigation of the Maryland State Police Homicide Unit led to human remains found in a vacant lot today at 1:45 p.m. in the Northeast region of Cecil County. Maryland State Police Homicide Unit is continuing this investigation and is leading it with the help of our federal partners at the FBI, as well as our police partners in Delaware. And at this point, I do not have any identification on the human remains, but they are consistent with those belonging to a child. And that is all the information I really have for you at this point.
Have authorities ever been called to that home before?
I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know.
The second suspect you named, do you know what the relationship between that suspect to the child is? What are you thinking of the child?
Police believe Randall is the mother of the 3-year-old, and the 44-year-old Cedric Britton was living in the same house, and he is believed to be her boyfriend.
Did they have full custody? I understand the father is in Indiana.
I cannot answer that, I'm sorry.
Okay. And as far as the child abuse charges and murder without an ID, how did you guys come to that conclusion?
In consultation with the Office of the State's Attorney in Cecil County, our homicide unit investigators had enough information gleaned through the investigation that connected these two individuals with the disappearance of this 3-year-old.
So they were arrested in Delaware, but the mother and the 3-year-old lived in Maryland?
The mother remains in Delaware in police custody, and the boyfriend is in Maryland in state police custody.
So, but the 3-year-old lives in Maryland with her mother full time?
That's what we believe at this time, yes.
So do we know why the mother was in Delaware at the time of the arrest?
The part of the investigation involving the Amber Alert and the false report that this mother allegedly gave is all still under investigation, and any information or any questions you have about that part of the investigation should be, you should probably ask the Delaware authorities.
Can you tell us a little more about how you knew that this body was in the park, and more about the specific area?
It was information that was gleaned throughout the investigation in the leads that our homicide unit investigators were able to obtain that led them to the site where the human remains were discovered, which was in a vacant lot in Northeast.
Can you be any more specific about where that lot is? Do you have a street name or anything?
Yeah, all of that is part of the ongoing investigation.
We are choppers over the park. I just wanted to make sure that we were on target.
Ever since the Maryland State Police began their part of this investigation, they have been searching neighborhoods, they've been searching community parks. They were combing through areas in Cecil County looking for any signs of this infant. It wasn't until evidence was obtained through the investigation that led them to this vacant lot.
So we don't know if it was Perryville Community Park vacant lot?
I don't believe it is. I can research that for you, though.
Where was the 44-year-old man when you got him?
Let me think on that one. Maryland State Police were assisting with the Amber Alert part of the investigation when they learned that the 3-year-old lived in Cecil County. They responded to the home, and that is where they made contact with the 44-year-old man involved in this investigation.
Were any other kids, or do any other kids live in the home with the two that you mentioned?
I do not know if there are any other individuals that live in that home.
Is she cooperating with police?
Yes, both individuals have cooperated with police since the beginning of this investigation.
Does Ms. Randall have any other family members in the state of Maryland, or are they cooperating with police?
I don't know about any other family members.
Does she have any priors?
I don't know that either.
First of all, I want to send a heartfelt RIP to this beautiful baby and the little beautiful boy before this story. In this case, where it comes to this beautiful little girl right here, the mother was in a custody battle with her dad, and she didn't want the dad to have this kid so much that she would rob this grandmother and this man of his child. She would just kill the kid and then lie and say another person abducted her kid and have the police run around rampant, getting other people harassed for no reason at all. The mother of this little girl is the worst of the worst. And she have a special place in hell right along with the other derelict parents who did something horrible to their kids. And this guy, the family said that he was suffering, or he started suffering from mental health issues. And if that's the case, how come you guys allowed him to still be around his son? Now, granted, I understand when him and his mother got into the argument, she was upstairs and he just abruptly took the little boy and he left. That's different. But if he was showing signs of mental disturbance, mental illness, he shouldn't have had the right to be around this little boy at all. And it didn't matter that it was his kid. And our orders should always be children's safeties first. Until next time.
Thank you for watching Prime Crime Network, your source for urban and suburban and around the world news. Hit the subscribe, like, and the notification bell. And check us out on primecrimenetwork.com.